His life is a fascinating story. His art is...
Anderson Cooper's 60 Minutes story this week is about Mark Bradford, an artist he met by happenstance.
I love this red.
Yep. If you would have come a week ago, the whole thing was just purple.
I met him on the street. I actually met him on this. I went to an art gallery, and I was coming down the street. I see this 6'8" guy dressed as a house painter, essentially, and says, he says hello to me, and I say hello to him. I knew nothing about him.
Did you start talking?
Yeah, we just started talking, and then he was like, "Oh, this is the gallery I started." I was like, "Oh, hey, that's cool."
Well, so is it open?
Yeah, it is open. Absolutely.
There were other people like in the gallery, and they were all kind of looking at him and whispering, and I realized, oh, wait a minute, he's probably kind of a big artist, and then he invited me to his studio.
This one, I think this has something.
That's cool.
I'm telling you, this is a part of the Constitution of the United States with these growths on it.
I was like, oh my God, I'm an idiot for never having heard of him.
What did you think of his art when you saw it?
I thought it was incredible. I mean, I couldn't believe that it was all paper. I couldn't believe that it wasn't paint. It doesn't come out in pictures. I hope it comes out on television, but to see it up close.
And kind of just bring it right into that nice little shape.
He uses paper like paint. He makes it malleable. He blends colors together from paper. It's a really interesting process.
The paper really, these are my paints.
This is what you're using instead of paint?
Yep.
He's got a little kid's kiddie pool.
So you would definitely use it.
That he's like soaking paper. One has an image of what an artist, how an artist works. And, with Mark, it's almost like going to a car wash at sometimes because, he's got like power washers that he's using. He's got sanders and drills, knives that he's cutting things with. He was working the salon one day and looked down and an end paper had fallen on the ground.
And I looked down and I thought, oh, they're translucent. Oh, I could use these.
What are end papers used for in a hair salon?
When you do a Jerry curl? Yes, I had a Jerry curl. No judgment.
Did you have a Jerry curl?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. It was the 80s. No judgment. I looked fantastic, by the way.
Paint, expensive paint could be, $20 for a tube. He didn't have that money, and he could buy cartons of end papers for, $20. So he started working with them, burning the edges of them, and it was Mark's realization that he could use end papers as the basis of his art that was the big breakthrough for him. And it was funny, the woman who came to buy one of his first works, she's a legendary collector, and she said, I'd like to buy one of these, how much are they?
I said, how much? And Mark said, how much do you have? And there were a couple of curators with me, and the room stopped.
He had never sold anything before, so he was just like, well, how much you got? And she was like, that's not the way it's done.
This is where it all started. Your painting has end papers on it.
Yeah.
You own one of the end paper works.
I do, yes. I bought one of his works. It's called The Hood is Moody. And it's made out of these end papers, which are like a tissue-like paper. What's interesting, I think, about the end paper paintings is that I think they're beautiful. Mine has 2 sneakers in the lower part of it, which I really like.
When I first started using them, they were so translucent I couldn't see the border, so I started burning them with a blowtorch, and that's where you get the fringing.
His art is interesting to look at, whether you like it or not, whether you understand it or not. It is compelling, and there is meaning to it. And to learn his story and how that translates into his artwork, I think is interesting.